Okay, Sean, what's going on, man? What is going on? Let me do a quick little tweet. Okay. Sean, what's going on, man? You are first in. So thank you for being here nice and early. U23, what's going on, brother? Hopefully a banger. Yeah, hopefully. I don't know. There's been some funny situations happening with the prize pool. So let me go into this. Who else we got? Jay, what's going on, man? Floringer. Am I saying that right? Sorry if I'm not. But yeah, I appreciate you being here, brother. Evan Critchley, what's going on, brother? Thank you for being here. But yeah, the funny business with the prize pool, right? So prior to the game week lock-in, this is the prize pool right now. But I'm going to tell you what the prize pool was when it loads, right? So I don't know why everything's been so slow. Probably because rewards are coming out. But regardless, they basically took out Xavi Simons and Antonio Silva from the prize pool, right? So Xavi Simons, whatever, was third. And then Antonio Silva was like somewhere down by here, in between these two maybe, or between these two, whatever. Yeah. So they've changed the prize pool for game week 387. And then if we go to the upcoming game, no, we could go upcoming, we could do live. Let's do live. If we go to live game week, let me go off this. It's being super slow. Let me catch up with the chat. Miss Incredible from Liverpool. Fiago told me you were so good. I appreciate that. Fiago had chances to score. I don't know if he told you about his big miss, but I appreciate those kind words from Fiago. He's a good player though. I'll give you that. Evan says, who am I hoping for? Honestly, mate, like well, let me get back into this prize pool situation. But this is the prize pool for now. Let me just see if Xavi Simons and Antonio Silva are back in there first. Otherwise, I won't moan. Yeah, so there we go. So this current week's prize pool, Xavi Simons is in there and Antonio Silva's in there. So it's just a bit annoying how they're just not in there for like the game week that I'm... Not that I'm going to win a Xavi Simons or we're going to win a Xavi Simons because he's too high up in the prize pool. But, okay, if we're talking, who am I hoping for? As Evan says, I'll be honest, I'd take a Tenas all day. I'd prefer not to win Osaka, but if I have to, I have to. Adeyemi, again, probably doesn't fit my gallery. I'd probably sell him, but it's not the end of the world. Phil Foden would be great. A weird one, like I'd really want to keep him because he's Phil Foden, but then I'm like, is he an SO5 piece? Probably not. I'd prefer not to touch Sorare and Schulte, personally. I have a Kim Jong-un. Like, these are a bit too high now, so I'll probably even, we're talking, way too high in the prize pool. I think I'm going to get something from, this half, if I'm being honest. I'd be shocked if I don't get somebody from these six. So we'll see. He said he told you about the miss. Yeah, the miss was bad. The miss was bad. Mikey, what's going on, man? What's going on, brother? Made it in time to catch the award. I appreciate that a lot, Mikey. I really do. MU Player Kips, what's going on, mate? Thank you for joining us. Sorry, I just hit my microphone. But Tom's in the building as well. Tom, what's going on, mate? Thank you for joining us. But yeah, what's the time? Okay, 7 on the dot. Are we going to get rewards or are they going to be delayed? Oh, we have rewards. Let's go. Rewards are in. So the thing is with this, if I click claim, we're going to know if we've packed or if we've won Phil Foden. We basically know that because of the back of the card, like the Premier League logo. So it's a bit not disappointing, but that's just kind of it. It is what it is. We're gonna know what's sort of coming before we've actually opened it. But regardless, it's still great. Sellers, what's going on, mate? Thank you for joining us. Yeah, I'm doing well, thank you, mate. Flew back from America yesterday, so I'm back home. But yeah, doing well, thank you, mate. Hope you're doing equally as well. Who else we got? Ian, what's going on, mate? Thank you for joining us. Lads, leave a little like for me, please, on the old little live stream. That would mean a lot. Just checking my phone. Okay. We've only been going 4 minutes. Do I do it so quickly? I don't know. We'll just do it. Okay. So we haven't won Phil Foden. That's just kind of a fact because we would know prior. So it's basically either Adeyemi, Osako, Jimenez, Tenas, maybe Sorare or Schulte. It has to be one of those, right? It just has to be. So yeah, we'll do the coins first. I think we got like over 1,000. Yeah, 1.2k. That's a lot for the amount of teams I put out every week. Right, so first of all, we're going to do the Cap 240 Super Rare threshold. So this is like the most ETH I've won in a long, long time. We've got the points, or 0.1064 from the Cap 240 Super Rare, which we haven't been able to hit for ages. The ETH for finishing second, 0.1628. Seb, what's going on, mate? Thank you for joining us. One Saradella from Anderlecht. Any news on him? He's a decent player, mate. Decent defender. I don't know if he's going to start next year. It's hard to say, but he's a good. He's highly rated amongst the sort of Anderlecht contingency, and he played a decent amount of games last year. So yeah, it could be a decent reward. That. Okay, should we just get it done? We'll get it done, lads. I hope it's Tenas, if I'm being honest. I just want to put that out there. It would be good for my Pedri collection bonus-wise. He's obviously leaving Barcelona, presumably as a starter. No one really likes winning goalies, really, but I way prefer that over anything else. Yeah. But regardless, we're not going to be disappointed. It's a star rare, lads. We're going to take it. PJ, what's going on, mate? Thank you, Seb, for the good lucks. And PJ, come on then. Let's just get into it, lads. Who do we got? Who do we have? It's Tenas. It's Tenas. It's Tenas. Okay. I called it. Lads, I put Tenas on the thumbnail of the video. I know he's blurred out, but it is Tenas. I promise you. I'm happy with that. I'm actually really, really happy with that. I literally said he's the only one I wanted, and I got him. Sorare gods, you've listened to me, and I appreciate it. Yeah, what do we think? What do we think about that, lads? Evan says happy days. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy personally because going into it, that was kind of the only one I wanted, if I'm being completely honest. Collection bonus-wise with my Pedri that I won as well, so they're both like first ownered cards. And yeah, I think it's decent. Jonathan says banger. It would have been nice to win him a couple of weeks ago before before Spain got to the Euro Under-21 final, of course. But regardless, maybe his price is a little bit inflated because of that. Who knows? But very good in the Under-21. Scott Donnelly says it's a W. Scott Marshall, says it's a W. Batsman W. Lads, everyone's buzzing. Quinny's buzzing, Jonathan says. Tom says, where's he going? I don't know where he's going, to be fair, Tom. I remember there was a press conference like last week or the week before at the Euros, and he basically got like told or asked or something about his contract, and he basically said, yeah, it's not being renewed, like they're letting me go or something along the lines of that. So yeah, I don't know where he's going. I'll be honest, I've not done any research on that, and I probably will in a bit, but I'm not sure I'll be able to come up with that answer exactly. But you know what, lads, we'll take that. I'm actually really happy about that. I was like 10 points off first. It's a little, it's a bit annoying, especially if first wins are Wirtz or Musiala. But you know what, I'm honestly really happy with that Tenas. So let's go into. Evan says, now to see where he lands. Saw a little Sevilla rumour if Bono goes. Don't know how concrete. Okay, interesting. He says he's leaving to play first team football. Interesting. We'll take that, Jonathan. Tenas is trending in the right direction, Chase says. Yeah, that's probably a good way to put it, to be fair, Chase. Yeah, he was kind of the only one in that prize pool that's like sort of, has a bit of a bubble attached to it in a good way in that sense. Like if there's a positive sort of move outcome, then his price could, sort of go beyond where he was in the prize pool, if that makes any sense. And that was one of the reasons why I obviously wanted him. And two, like I said, the Barcelona collection thing helps me as well. I mean, I think I'm on 80 points maybe now with my collections because Pedri was 40, I believe, or maybe 30. I'll have a look now. So we've got Tenas on 30 points. Pedri gave us 40. We will get another 10 if we don't sell Tenas. And then we need another 20 basically for the 2%, which is pretty tasty. Okay. What have we got going on here? Won the same guy in limited. I'm rare this week. Joe did. Wow. J Vic, thank you for joining us and thank you for the congratulations. I do really appreciate that, mate. Tenas has been added to the collection. What's this? Withdrawal gas fee update. I know this is a bit of a side topic when it loads, but yeah, there's definitely there's an update to be seen, I guess, if it want to load. Jonathan says get Balde for that vertical stack. Could be a good Could be a good... Well, I don't know. Balde's pretty expensive in rare right now. I don't know. Maybe. Chase says, are you big on Bryce Duke buying to boost the collection score? I like Bryce Duke just as a player in that sense. I think he scores decently well. I think he's sort of bubbling. But no, I don't have Bryce's Montreal card, I don't think. I have a different card. I think I have his Inter Miami card, to be fair. Yeah, I have his Inter Miami card, so I'm not even boosting him. I've just somehow collected the whole of Montreal's rare collection. I mean, I'm a big George Campbell fan, have been for a while. I got these two in a trade a couple weeks ago, like last week actually, which I'm going to make a video about because I made some big moves as far as sort of departures in the gallery. But yeah, no, I want to get the Bryce Duke Montreal card. I didn't know that he had one, but I'm guessing he does. Dominic said, just joined, nicely done. Thank you, Dom. We managed to get ourselves a cheeky tenas. Tom says, what do you think about Dan Juma to Feyenoord? Dan Juma's a decent player as long as he's, wanting to sort of play football and do well. He has all the characteristics to be a good footballer and is a good footballer. It's just like a motivation thing, I guess. After getting the Prem move, players get a bit weird, I think, after, making a bit of money. And I don't know, it just depends how much he wants it, but he's a very, very good footballer. What we saying here, Nikola Milenkovic, to be honest, know nothing about him. Oh, I've not really heard that name, to be honest, Joe. They're no longer covering gas fees for withdrawals from 13th of July. Okay, interesting. Dominic says, random, but I want to stack Forest next season. Will they normally release new season cards before the first game? No, Dom, to be fair, just historically, Sorare tend to release new cards like a month into the season, maybe a couple of weeks if we're lucky, but it's normally around a month. Tom says Gustav Isaacson on Feyenoord's radar. Yeah, that could be huge for under 23 forwards next year. That could be a really, really interesting situation. But yeah, Dom, definitely around 3 to 5 weeks into the season, I imagine we'll see new cards. But you know what, lads? I'm happy with that. I really, really am. Like I literally said, he was the only card that I would love to Phil Foden, I guess. But in terms of utility and sort of trending upwards as far as prices go and collectability, like I said with the Pedri thing, Tenas made the most sense out of. For me, like it was a bad bunch, if we're being honest. Like for star rares, like normally, like I won Pedri as a third place, a couple months ago, and like. To see that now, like, the prize pool is looking how it is. But I get it. It's, the end of season, summer. Like, I know what I signed up for in that sense, playing over the summer. I got a lot of success last year doing it, and I'm doing the same this year. So I'm not sort of slagging it off in that way. But it's just a weaker prize pool, which is more than fine. Yeah, no worries, Dom, at all. What have we got going on here? Man, Solomon confirmed. Now Ange can kill Solomon instead of Abada. Nah, I don't know. I think he'll do well. That inverted left winger spot for Spurs might be interesting in that sense. Like, can't really think. I mean, they've got Son, obviously. If Kane leaves, I don't know. There's definitely a bit of movement. I can't see Solomon really starting every game, but he's wicked impact off the bench, and you just never know. Do you think that Kelleher will start for Liverpool in the Europa League once the season starts? Probably not, Batman, if I'm being honest. Like, just judging off, like, last year and stuff, I don't think he did. Well, Liverpool weren't in the Europa League last year, was he? I don't know. I'd be shocked if he did, but, again, weirder things have happened. Let's have a look at Tenas's actual price in that sense. So he's under 23 until 25, which is really nice. It means I can have him for 2 years in that sense before losing eligibility. So, the last one sold for 512... 549, what's that in ETH? 0.35, and that was today? No, that was yesterday. Okay. Yeah, 0.38. Yeah, he's probably a 0.35 card right now, isn't he, to be fair? Which is the same as what most of those cards were around him. If we have another little look at it. Let's have a little look. So you got Tenas. Yeah, Osaka's probably around the same price, I'd say. Foden's listed for 0.35, to be fair. All the, from Schulte down, they're basically all 0.35. Apart from Jimenez. I'm happy I swerved Jimenez because I don't see how he's in the star rare prize pool to start, but he's definitely not worth, 0.35, is he? Well, 7 days ago he went for 0.32. That's crazy. Maybe he is worth that. 3 days ago, 0.35. Wow. People have really high hopes then of Jimenez then, I'm guessing. Not to say I don't think he'll do well. Like he did really well last season, but that's interesting. I didn't think he was that expensive, if I'm being honest. Thoughts on Isaacson to Milan? I don't know. I don't know if I love them. I'd prefer him to go to Feyenoord if I was an owner in that sense. Even though you'd be competing with Jimenez and stuff, but I don't know. Would he do well at AC Milan? I don't know. I don't really like under 23 players in Serie A, if I'm being honest. That's just one of the things I seem to avoid naturally. I can't give you too much of a reason why. I just, apart from like Kvashvili and obviously Osherman last year, Liao as well, it doesn't really breed many good under 23 players for me in terms of like SO5 scoring. Yeah. Do I see Isaacson? I don't know. Like we saw De Ketelaere completely fold there, and I'm not saying De Ketelaere is Isaacson, they're different players and whatever, but I don't know. It just seems like just the opposite of a breeding ground for SO5 under 23 players for me. Jonathan says it'd be CDK 2.0, sorry. Possibly, for sure. I can see that being a thing. I can definitely see that being a thing. I would like to see who finished first, lads. I want to see what they won. I know I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it. SSR Sir 1. Okay, what did he win if he's... Ooh, interesting. He won Sirwa. That's crazy. So first place got Sirwa, who's like 0.46. I finished second and won a card for 0.35. You know what? I've got lucky there. Really. Not to say the Tenas is a better reward than Sirwa, but... I mean, in a weird way, he might be. Because Sirwa wasn't even a start at the start of this season. But, there's some brilliant scores there as under 23 sort of, MLS keeper and stuff. Don't get me wrong. But, if I was to win today, and not come second, I would have not demanded words on Musiala, but I would have been a bit disappointed if I didn't get them. Even though last week we saw Fede get Van der Voort, which is obviously a great win in itself. But, it wasn't Wirtz or Musiala in that sense. I don't know. I think they're just being tight on rewards. Like first place wins Sirwa, which is the 5th highest in the prize pool. And I know they're going to give out cards that are like, have more have more supply than not, which makes sense. Shay says it would be nice for the Montreal collection. It would. It genuinely would. I can't lie. But I honestly, like hand on, I know this sounds stupid. What would you rather win, Tenas or Sirwa? For first, I would honestly prefer the Tenas. Only because of the collection thing. I know Sirwa's worth more. You could just sell him and buy, Tenas and pocket 0.1 ETH. I know. But I'd still probably prefer, a game rewarded Tenas in that sense. And this actually is really, really nice because the last time I won an under 23 goalkeeper as a reward, it was Donnarumma. But he was aging out like not too long after, so I ended up selling him. But at the time, that meant I could field a lineup full of rewarded cards, like in rare, not in super rare. And yeah, now I can do that. Let me see if I can show you. How can I... I'm trying to think of a way to do this without being an idiot. Right, so we go rare cards. Basically, I'm trying to filter the cards that I won, if that makes any sense. How do I do that? Can you do it down here? I don't think you can you? Like I want to filter for the cards that I won as a reward, if that makes sense. I'm guessing you can't do it. But basically, Tenas, Timber. So that would be my defensive stack as a reward. We'd go Pedri, because we did win a Pedri. Where's he to? He's there 5 months ago. And then, who's my other reward? So I won Vinny, so we can throw him in the rewarded under 23 lineup 7 months ago. I won another player. Who did I win that I really, really liked? And would put him in sort of a best 5 of 1 cards. Warren might get in there, but I don't think he does. There was one. Who did I win? I'm really going blank a minute. Pedri. We didn't win Enzo. Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, so that would be my starting 5. Tenas in goals, Timber as my defender, Pedri as the midfielder, and then Jersey Mint Jesus with Vinny up front. I hope one day they do a trophy like special weekly, like cards that you've won. That would be so cool. Sorry, I've sort of lost my train of thought here. Back to the question. Serie A isn't a good league for youth development or super high scorers. Yeah, good point, David. That would be probably the best way to describe it. What did I win? Raul, I won a tennis. Oh no, tennis. Feelings on Colamundio, however you pronounce it. Is he at Rennes? If he's at Rennes, I'm not saying he won't start next year, but they have so much attacking options. I know he's like a 9, and Guri can play wide, but you've got Blast to come into this, which is he's a bit of a 10. You've got Doku on one wing. I think he's a good player. I don't love him. Like, I don't think he's great. I mean, he's objectively a very good football player, but I don't love him for SO5 in that sense. Calimundo. Like, there's some good scores here. There's some decent scores. Don't get me wrong, but towards the end of the season, he wasn't starting, so they were going, okay, Toko Akambi up front. They've just got a really good front 6, front 5, really, really dangerous. Add Blast into that. Don't get me wrong, he went on a nice streak, but he's an AA-less striker, if we're being honest. There's a couple games here where 14 AA is the is the peak. Like, that's just the problem with number 9 strikers on Sorare. Like, they just don't really do too well for AA, and ultimately, yeah, you want to score goals and get assists, and DAs do win you things, but ultimately you need the mixture of both to hit on a good day, and that's kind of the opposite of what he provides, I would say. If you look at Guri, I'd like to think that his AA, like, at least he can hit, like, I'm seeing a 24 here. Okay, there's not too much below that. 10, 14. To be fair, he went quite quiet for a long time, Guri, if I'm being honest, just scoring wise. But yeah, I mean, there's some nicer peaks here. I know that a lot of them are coming through DAs as well, but we can obviously show you better AA. Well, I could obviously show you better AA scoring forwards, but yeah, my rationale on that is, yeah, I wouldn't really touch Colamundo, whatever you want to say, personally, but that's just, it is what it is. Go to SD rewards and filter by Kep rewards. Okay, my gallery. SO5 stats. There we go. I won Avila as well, actually. Yeah, he could go into he could start for me. But yeah, anyway. What was I going to say? More Pike? Moritz Pike, what's going on, man? Thank you for joining us. Mike says, very true, under 23 champion forward pool isn't great. Yeah, I mean, there's probably, well, I don't shop there in that sense. I don't really know. I mean, Griezmann comes to mind straight away. I know he's probably one of the more expensive options, but you wouldn't be going into a Champ Europe with Colamundo as your forward. Like, that's just not going to work, unfortunately. Not when you're playing up against your Griezmanns and Vinny's and whoever else that has massive AA potential as well as the DA. So yeah, Dominic says, if you were starting again, you had to go for 3 stacks in limited. What would you buy? 3 stacks in limited, as in like teams, like 3 different teams, if that's what I'm guessing you're referring to. Jesus, yeah, I mean, I'm not, because I mainly only play under 23s, I don't really tend to like full stack anyone in that sense. Like, I don't go from goalkeeper to forward. Yeah, like in terms of teams, like full teams, I like doing defensive stacks. I like doing attacking stats. I like stacks. Sorry, I like splitting them up, but I don't really like going all out. But if I was starting again and I had to go for 3 stacks in limited, who or what would I buy? I mean, I'd probably have 1 Challenger Europe stack, like team, if that makes sense, whether that's, I don't know, Zagreb, Celtic, Feyenoord, whoever you want that team to be. I'd go 1 Challenger stack. I'd go one champion Europe stack, whether that's, you go for Atletico Madrid. I don't know. It depends what your budget is, obviously. But, if you haven't got the biggest of bucks in that sense to just go out and splash on anyone, then, you'd probably, be looking at maybe... I honestly don't know. I honestly do not know. I'm trying to think of champion Europe sort of stacks. I mean, you could gamble on Tottenham being half decent next year with Maddison involved, and if they keep Kane, they could have a decent stack. Obviously, I don't know if you could get the goalkeeper on Sorare, but yeah, this is why I don't full stack, because I just don't think it's that good personally. But if budget's not an option, I don't know, Arsenal, Man City, there's loads of options. I know I'm giving you the obvious answers here, but that's just the brutality of it. Yeah, David says, what's your gallery looking like for next season, Harry? Any updates, any change of plan compared to last season? I kind of want to leave that as its own video, if that makes sense. I was going to bring out a video this week, one highlighting like a big trade that I made and how that shapes my gallery, and then two, like, yeah, my strategy going into this next season. But yeah, nothing too different, mate. I mean, as far as just like pure numbers, I was lacking on rare cards. I think my ratio from rare to super was like nearly 1-to-1. It was a bit of a joke. I had like 45 supers, maybe like 50 rares at one point. I've kind of, half that in that sense. The ratio is more like 2-to-1 now. So I can be a bit stronger at rare, because I found I'm successful in under 23 rare pro, but I'm never anywhere near an under 23 rare. And I think that's because one, don't really love the competition, and two, probably don't have enough depth in rare to even give it a shot. So I know, and that's the only under 23 competition that I play that I haven't won. So I really want to win that next season. So yeah, it's just bulking up my rares. Obviously, playing threshold, playing the super rare threshold for sure throughout the season. That's obviously a big priority to kind of keep that ETH sort of alive in the gallery. I'll try and play cap 240 rare if I have the goalkeepers, which I should in that sense. If we're looking at rare goalkeepers now with Tenas in the mix, we've got Tenas. These Pasvias are a bit of a punt, lads. I wouldn't, don't go out and buy Pasvia right now. That was a bit of a random punt on my behalf. But yeah, in terms of like under 23 keepers, we've got Tenas, we've got Bazanu, Bart if he starts for Brighton, and then obviously Costa down here. We've got Brady and Kim as our sort of summer under 23 keepers. We also have Nishikawa as well, who's obviously older but can still play in cap. So I think I have enough goalkeepers now going into like this new season now to where I'm like I can kind of pick and choose what I need to do and what I need to prioritize. But yeah, it's just all about probably getting to 100 rares is probably the goal. Maybe 50 supers, not before the end of the season or before the start of the season, if that makes sense. But definitely, probably by the end of the season, I would say have 100 good rare cards that I can use on a sort of weekly basis whenever that league's on, and then 50 supers to chop and change, the cap 240 super. And then I am going to play under 23 super rare. I need to still buy a few bits in that sense. I don't probably need a midfielder, probably need a forward, but I'm okay in defense and goalkeeper. But yeah, nothing too dissimilar, to be honest, mate. Nothing like crazy different as far as like strategies go. Still trying to still doing what I want to do in the sense like I still enjoy the under 23s, and if I venture into caps, then great. Like if I have the leftovers to do so on that week, they'll go into cap 240, they'll go into cap 270, and all-star. I don't think I have the firepower. Like I don't have enough like older players in that, like older good scorers to like want to go over to all-star rare and all-star rare pro. If I was to do it, like I'd want to do it properly and go buy like a nice little defensive stack of a team. Maybe buy a forward and a midfielder of a team, that isn't under 23s, and go at it that way to give myself a chance, I don't like going in with my scraps in All-Star Rares and All-Star Rare Pro, because everyone else is going in with their big guns. So why, it just don't make sense for me, really. I know you might as well play them I might as well play them there and then not play them at all. But I don't think it just don't make too much sense for me to think that I'm going to go win, cards in All-Star Rare and All-Star Rare Pro with my leftover under 23 players. It just doesn't really, make sense. You want to be going into those competitions as strong as possible, in my opinion. So yeah, that's kind of that. I was going to see, I might spoil his reward video, but I'm going to have a look at who McBride won, because he finished 4th. What's his name now? McBride. Is it still McBride Ace? No. Let me just go Robinson. Oh, Jesus. I didn't think this would be this hard. Andy Robinson. I know he has the unique. So we'll go Robertson. Unique. Unless he sold him. No, he didn't sell him. And then we go... Maybe he hasn't opened his rewards. Oh, maybe he has. He has opened his rewards. So he's either won Tariq Mitchell or Simsa. I think he won this Aral Simsa, to be honest. Yeah, Midgetland's sort of successor to Isaacson, apparently. That's a good win, that is. Fair play. 0.22 for a tier 1. I think he finished 4th, so it wasn't even the best tier 1 in that pool. Yeah, that's it. That's a good win. David says, nice one, mate. Love it. Part of me wishes I stayed in under 23 level, and that's what I love, but I couldn't turn down the Cap 240 Super threshold. It's too good to turn down, in my opinion. Yeah, mate, 100%. Like, it is too good to turn down. Like, you know, you see this weekend, I had to, like, you know, I had to have an unbelievable win. I didn't win it, but, you know, I came second this week with a really high score that, you know, doesn't always happen, and I win 0.16 ETH, and then in Cap 240 Super Rare, with a very average bunch of Super Rares, I win almost the same amount, you know, okay, basically 50% less ETH, but still a decent amount of ETH, you know, but I've had to do so much less, if we're being honest. I've hit 260 points, 44, 50, 45, 48, 73. Yeah, the keeper getting the clean sheet's probably, you know, massive in that sense, because I don't hit it otherwise. And by hit it, I mean I don't hit the capped, the 250 points, but like that's the issue for me. Like wanting to do that, wanting to play this, it's not fun, but like the rewards are too good to not play it, is the issue. What's this button? Oh, okay, it just enlarges that. Yeah, that's kind of the issue for me. Or not an issue, but I think that's an issue for Sorare. Like, you want it, I think you kind of want us to, I think you want users to go over and play under 23 Rare Pro and under 23 Rare and under 23 Limited, because there is like nice amounts of ETH on the podium / top 10, but there's not. There's ETH on the podium, but after that, there's nothing. I think there needs to be a better distributed. I say it with Fed all the time, but I do think that rings true. Like 0.1 ETH for doing what I've done there. I'm not saying that's easy to do, because it's not. Like I said, I've not won the Super Rare threshold that much this summer. I don't have that much depth, if we're being honest. Like, I have like 7 or 8 cards to pick from. It's not easy to do, but if you like, if that's all you're going for, and you have like 15 cards to do it, depth wise, then I think it's way more realistic, and the ROI is a lot higher. Chase says Scottish Whale. Yeah, I checked. He won that Simsa. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but yeah, decent little win. Who finished? Let's have a look at who finished. Actually, I don't know if Nashi's done his rewards, but I know Nashi finished second in under 23 Rare. So we'll go over and have a look at what he won. Tori finished third. Has he opened his rewards? He hasn't. Okay. That is fine. And then let's go back over here. I just want to see what Nashi won in under 23 Rare. I think he finished second. Let's go over to 1. Yeah, Nashi finished second. He's online. So let's check what he won. I think it's Is it a star rare or tier 1? I'm not sure. He has opened his rewards, and he won himself 2 super rares, Wilfred and Didi and Chirivella, but he won a Tobias Lowell. I know he's a goalkeeper. Under 23. See? That's crazy. He auctioned for 0.3395 15 hours ago. I think that was a tier 1. Yeah, that was a tier 1. Okay, it was the best tier 1, you know, in as far as like position. He finished second. He's done really well there. I think he's done really well, to be honest. David says, yeah, I think the card rules are bad enough that it makes me look elsewhere on top, but the E threshold is so good. I won it 2 game weeks on the bounce and bought 2 super rares. That's what I mean. It's just so easy to then reinvest and kind of it just snowballs you, doesn't it, in that sense. And like 1 super rare threshold win is obviously 4 rare threshold wins cap wise. So, you know, are the ratios off? Probably not, but I still think those super rare wins are massive, just for gallery sort of reinvesting purposes and ROI and all that jazz. Okay, we've been going 35 minutes, lad. That's probably gonna Well, I'm probably going to call it a day here. I'm going to pop to the gym. I haven't done any exercise today. I've been lazy. So I need to go to the gym. I will be filming that sort of strategy video coming out tomorrow. And I'm going to be filming like the big trade video that I made, which, it was a big sort of deal for my little gallery and how that will impact my strategy and stuff. So yeah, look out for them in the next couple of days, or don't. You kind of do whatever you want. But yeah, I do really appreciate you, popping in and saying hello and watching me open the reward, lads. It does honestly mean a lot to me. But yeah, if you could leave a like on the stream, that'd be great. And yeah, lads, I'll love you and leave you. It's been a pleasure. And yeah, I'll catch you. Well, you'll see me in a couple of videos over the next couple of days, and maybe live on Thursday potentially for like a deadline-y stream potentially. Let me know if you fancy it. And yeah, lads, that'll be the end of the stream. Appreciate you a lot.